this video clip, I'll show you how can we work with the list using loop. Okay, so I will get the string from the above cell like this. If S1 is like a cat and the data is S1.split. So data has 4 elements. You can check the length of the data. Sorry. You can check the length of the data using length of data. So it will show you 4. Yeah, you have 4 elements. As I told you in the previous, I think last week, that you can work with the loop in the list like this. 4 element in data, print element. So it will iterate through all elements in the list, but for each iteration it will work with each element. So the first iteration is I, and like a cat. Okay, you have to iterate 4 times, and for each time you can extract the data using this format. For each data, for each element in the data, print that one, and you can work using the index also. Like I'm going to copy it again here. Okay, so we can use the for loop, that is for I in range length of data, and print data I. Because the length of the data is 4, right? So for I in range 4. For I in range 4, I would like to remind you again, for I in range 4, it means that you start from 0 to 3, right? 0, 1, 2, and 3, not 4. So you have to work 4 iterations here. For each iteration, you can index by using data I. That's all for the loop. But here is, this one is very important mechanisms of Python. That is the list comprehension. Once you know the loop, you can create a list using the list comprehension idea that embed the list embed the loop in a list to create another list. Okay, guys. So for example, if I have a string like 10, 4, 5, 6, 9, 11, if I use s.split, I would like to convert this data into a list of number. Okay, so I split it using a comma like this. Okay, so you can separate all string together, or all string from each other, using the comma as a delimiter. So in this list you have 6 elements. Okay, and now guys, for the list comprehension, is the idea is like this. You can work it like for each element in s.split, that one will be a list, right? A list of string. For e in s.split, put e into the list and store in the data. I like to repeat reading it again. For e in s.split using comma as the delimiter, it means that you are working in a list of this one, right? 10, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 11. And for each element e in this list, put e in the list of data here. Okay, so guys, let's check the result. So now you will see that the result is same as the way that you can see uh, the as the previous one, like the split one, right? But for this e, you can do a lot of things like convert it into the integer. So guys, let's check the result. Can you see? Now, in the last statement, in the last example, all elements here are string, right? But in this statement, for each element in s.split, we use e, but this time we send e as a parameter, as an input to the int function. So it will convert all string into the integer. After you get an integer from e, you can times it by 2. So the result will be like this. Okay. So the list comprehension is very important concept of list in Python. Okay, you can do a lot of things. You can work it like do it many way and very useful. The list comprehension is very useful. I will show you this one. For example, I'll start with S is 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry. I'll do it like this. The data is, guys, look at this. I use I, and for I in range 20. Please guess what is the result of data. For I in range 20, so I will start from 0, 1, 2, 3 until 19, right? And we, for each number, for each I, store it in the data. So guys, let's check the result. This one data is I for I in range and print the data. Now you can see that we can create a list of numbers that start from 0 to 19. Okay. For the list comprehension, you can add some condition here. If I meet this condition, it will be stored in the list. For example, if I mod 2 is 0, it means that for I in range 20, I will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But for each number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if it mod to low by 2, then and the remainder is 0. Okay, so you store it in the data. So guys, let's guess the result. So it will add only the even number to this list. Okay, if you want to add the if you want to add the odd number, so just change it to cannot divide by 2, and this is the result. Okay, so you can put any function here. Okay, for example, data is 0 for I in range 20 and print data. So what does it mean? It will work for I in range 20. Each iteration will start from the first iteration. I is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 19, and we put 0 into data, so the result will be all 0. Okay, for 20 times. Okay, this is the list comprehension, and I hope that you get the idea of how can you use just only one statement to convert the data from a list to another list. Okay guys, in the next video clip, I'll show you what is the operation of the list. See you.